Alright, what's going on, guys? It's Boss Han here. I am back here on the channel with another upload, and I almost forgot that it's Halloween, and I feel like, hey, maybe I could do like a Storytime compilation. And yes, I have some. Thankfully, I have some horror stories that I can make a compilation out of. It's probably not going to be at least an hour. I'll try to make it an hour, but this video will be about 5 horror stories that I have from all the videos that I tried to see. I mean, there's probably still there are horror stories, but they're not labeled in my files, so I couldn't find as much, but I managed to find 5. So hope you guys enjoyed this video, and have a happy Halloween.
What's going on, everyone? Boss Han is here back with another upload, and today you guys know how in the other video I mentioned a story that I went through during my camp summer vacation, and today I want to continue that. Today I want to tell you guys a story about the time while I was on my trip. Me and my family all agreed that, hey, a giant monster just appeared at our house. Let's not do anything. And the whole entire time I just keep thinking, oh my god, it's a Sasquatch trying to hunt us down. However, obviously, we don't know for sure if it was, but there's another story that I want to tell that I think could prove that. But anyways, let's get into it. I don't want to waste any more time. Alright, so our cabin that we purchased for our 7-day trip up into the mountains. It's not directly in the woods. It's like, yes, it's in the middle of nowhere, but it's not directly in the woods. It's basically like a watchtower in the woods. And when we get to our cabin, it was like you saw something incredible. However, I didn't really like this cabin because, for one, it was very small because it was very crowded, and two, this looked like a medieval house from the medieval times. And I don't have a problem with medieval houses. It's just that they're very too crowded, and the bathroom was extremely small. And everything is going good as normal until like nighttime comes. So this is the second day. This happens on the second day of our trip, which is the last day we're sleeping in this cabin because we already purchased another cabin. It was very confusing of how this whole entire trip worked because for some reason the second cabin we were supposed to purchase for the whole entire days was apparently unavailable on the first day of our trip, and so we had to rent another cabin in the woods so we can rent this other house for the day. Or should I say that trip? And this whole entire thing starts on the second day of our trip to the mountains. And I'm just sitting here on my phone, on my bed, just scrolling through YouTube music, trying to find some sleeping music that I usually use to when I usually go to sleep. And right now, everyone's having a peaceful sleep. Everyone is not awake. No one is awake. It's just me awake, trying to get some sleep. I put on some sleeping music to get my ass to sleep, and everything's going good. I had a 10-minute good rest until I hear a loud sound coming from the other side of the cabin. And just to paint a picture of what this house looked like, this is a house that has 2 decks, right? At the front of the house, there's a deck on the back of the house. Why did I say front of the house? But, like, you know what I mean. Like, at the back of the house, there's a deck. And on the right side of the house, there's another deck. And so, I hear a noise come from the other side of the deck, like someone just jumped on it. And, like, it caused, like, a giant earthquake wave sound that sounded like an earthquake, but it really didn't sound like it didn't actually physically felt like an earthquake. Okay, what am I saying? What I'm trying to say is that this sound was very loud. It did felt like an earthquake, but like nothing happened. Like nothing very bad happened. Like a giant building just like freaking collapsed to the ground. No, not that. It just sounded like an earthquake. That's what it felt like. So the whole entire cabin is awake at this point, and I'm just sitting here like, what just happened? Is it me, or did like something like heavy just drop onto the right side of the deck? And so I walked down the stairs into the front room, and my whole entire family is down the deck just terrified. And I told them, hey, do you guys hear that sound? And they're all freaking out, saying, where the hell did that noise even come from? It felt like a very big creature that I do not want to mess around with or investigate or even see at all. And I'm over here just trying to tell them, guys, relax. We are in a very sheltered place. Whoever is there is not going to come into the house because we literally just blocked every single door that we can find. And so I turned to go look to my mom, and I tell her, "Hey, have you seen anything out there?" And she says, "No. The last thing I remember is just waking up to like a loud sound, and I look, and like the right side of the deck, like all the chairs are flipped, and when we look to the back side of the back deck." Everything is fine. None of the chairs are flipped. So I'm kind of getting a little bit increasing worried, and I tell my mom, "Can you tell me some more information?" And my mom says, "Well, what I know is that this thing felt like a giant person. Well, yeah, a giant person, but it felt like a giant creature just jumped on the deck and jumped back out into the darkness of hell of where it came from." And like that's what it looks like right now. I could have taken a picture, but sadly, for those who don't know on the channel, I had a very bad event that happened where my phone permanently died, and I had to get a new one. And I didn't get any of my materials or stuff to make videos or my other videos back. So yeah, I have a new one right now. For those who do not know, which has happened from the last couple of weeks, that I'm trying to recover. But now I'm just sitting here like, are we gonna be okay? But the other half of the brain is like, no, dude, you're fine. Just go back to sleep. This is all a dream. And I'm like, no, this isn't a dream. This is code red. Like, literally, it's Mr. Bigfoot or Sasquatch just out there trolling us by jumping on the deck and thinking like there's something out there when really they have very invisibility powers and can basically we don't have any proof that it's there. But fortunately after that, nothing bad happened after that. Like interestingly, nothing bad happened after that night. Like everything went normal. We had no bad experiences. If I only wish that were true, because the next story is, I'm pretty sure, I think it's the same person that was chasing us. No, I think it was the same Bigfoot or Sasquatch that was chasing us from this story, in which I'm going to tell right now. Alright, so this next story, I thought this wouldn't happen. Like, after that situation that just happened in the cabin in the woods, I think that, hey, I'm pretty good to go. Nothing bad's gonna happen, right? Well, guess what? I'm wrong, because the next thing I knew is that this story takes place when I'm hiking in the woods with my family. Anywho, we parked in the lot and we started to go hiking, and instead of taking the hard trail, we want to take the easy trail. But I swear, a lot of people from my family said that, hey, this is harder than it looks. We were expecting this to be easy, but like there's so many stairs is what my aunt and my mom say, and my uncle's sitting here like, you guys are saying this is hard? Wait until you see the hard path when you have to like freaking like jump the walls like it's like you're Spider-Man. You have to like climb the mountain of Mississippi or whatever to become to defeat the hardcore level of hiking. That's just how it works. But we keep hiking on. We keep having great laughs while hiking. We also looked at some pretty awesome views. The mountains were pretty. Everything was nice. And so at one point, it was getting a little bit dark, and we were heading back. And so I don't know why, but as me and my two other family members, well, my dad and my uncle, all three of us were together trying to go back, but I don't know how, but the three other family group was like just like walking really fast, and we don't know really why. And so like 20 minutes into like the walk, it's very dark, and also being very dark, we can't even see them. And like I flashed my light, and they're like at least like 1 mile away from us, and I can see their flashlight. And my uncle goes, "Dude, why are they walking so far?" Oops, that's not what he said. Why are they walking so fast? Can we just all stay like in a big group and not act like this is a Scooby-Doo episode where we all split up looking for clues? No, we're trying to hike back, get back to the car, and get back to our houses so we can eat very nice meals and then go to bed or just watch Netflix or whatever. But for some reason, the other group leaves us behind, and we're just now all three of us stuck together trying to hike back to the parking lot, and we're all just chilling here, just walking together, just trying to make this awkward moment unawkward by having some unawkward conversations like, "Oh, how was school? Did you fail any finals yet?" In which I did fail all my finals except for my English final because we had to like write a speech about Lord of the Flies or whatever. But that's when my uncle makes a joke. Well, no, actually, no. My dad makes a joke of how, hey, this whole entire thing is good. You know when it's gonna be bad when whatever like something from a video game I don't remember just pops out of nowhere, and that's when stuff gets bad and you have to fight like a giant triangle monster or whatever. I don't remember what my dad was on about, but I'm just standing here like, this is not the great time to just start saying that because now I'm feeling like, hey, we're gonna be being watched because now you just said that. And that's when 20 minutes later we start realizing, hey, it's really dark. This would be a really bad time if a Sasquatch came over here, starts ripping everyone's head off with their teeth, and acting like this is an episode of Expedition Unknown or whatever. So we keep hiking and trying to get back to our parking lot, and it doesn't feel like we're going to a parking lot. It's like we're feeling like we're just wandering in the middle of nowhere, like this is Left 4 Dead or whatever. Like it's just completely silent. And you know how you feel that silence where like nothing is making noise, no birds are chirping, no like no one's walking, or like you don't hear any airplanes or waterfalls, none. We hear absolutely nothing, which kind of freaks me and the other two out. And it's kind of getting a little bit too quiet. And my friend says, "Yo, do you guys hear that?" And we all stop and we look to hear if there was any noise. And sure enough, there was a noise, all right. However, it was kind of like a roar of some sort in the background, and we're like, "Oh shoot, it could be a bear. We don't know. We should start running." So we all start running, or should I say, walk a little bit quicker, and we're like, "Please, please don't find us. Please don't have the sound a little bit too more loud, so we know it's closer." And I'm starting to wonder, could this be another creature, like for example a Wendigo? It wouldn't be Bigfoot or Sasquatch, but a Wendigo. And for those who don't know what a Wendigo is, it's a two-legged deer that basically hunts people down. You guys can look it up, but it's like they're kind of close to a Bigfoot, but it's like they have a little bit more of a backstory, I think. So we are starting to hike back. I'm kind of feeling like we're being watched, and I told the others, "Hey, do you guys feel like we're being watched?" And my uncle goes, "Yes," and my dad says, kind of, but I don't really feel like something's watching of us because I know that, hey, if someone says that maybe our brains are just messing with us. But then all of a sudden as we're hiking, we hear like a loud roar, something you do absolutely not want to hear. And then my uncle says, guys, I don't how about we don't move for a second? And I'm like, why say that? We should be running. I don't want to be eaten by a giant Sasquatch that's hungry or something, because like he's roaring really loud, so that means he must be very close by. And so I just start booking it, and then my uncle says, "Hey, wait, you shouldn't do that." And then my dad says, "Well, dude, let's just keep running. We don't want to end up at the woods anyways. I don't want to be here. You don't want to be here. We need to get out of here as soon as possible." So we ignore everything and we just start booking it. And 20 minutes later, we end up like back to the parking lot. It was a very traumatic experience, and I would say 10 out of 0. I mean, like 0 out of 10 would not recommend. That was very scary. Unless you're a explorer that likes looking out for a paranormal, then hey, this might be a very good place for you. Yeah. So this whole entire thing started during the middle of spring break, and before spring break, my friend, we're gonna name for the story Maximus, told us that hey, he's gonna go to see his dad in the mountains. Well, not in mountains, but in the desert. And we're like, oh, that sounds very cool. And my friend Maximus says, oh, by the way, I might not see you guys after spring break because we're actually gonna be staying there with my dad for a very long time. Well, for like an extra week after spring break. So we're like, oh, whatever. We understand. You can go hang out with your dad. That's cool. We wish we can do that too. I mean, obviously, we were jealous that my friend Maximus was gonna have more days off than we did. But it is what it is, man. We don't always get what we want. But so for this whole entire week, actually, we didn't see my friend Maximus for a whole entire week. Well, that was because this was spring break, but for some reason, when we came back from school after spring break, we see our friend Maximus. And by the way we could look at him, he was very tired. And so we're like, hey man, what's going on? You look very tired. And he says, oh yeah, I came home early, very early, and it was not really that great. And we're like, well, why? And my friend says, well, bro, I have a very crazy story to tell you guys. So during the trip to where his dad stays, it was alright, nothing bad happened, nothing changed, there was not that much going on. Just my friend was hanging out with his sisters that were at his dad's. I mean, I didn't know what they were doing over there. They could be playing Yahtzee something because I was just at my house playing Borderlands 2 on the Xbox 360. But the first night was just generally good. Nothing bad happened. And so a few more nights go by, and it was not until the fifth day where something happened. And so how this went was that there was 2 days of paranormal activity, and for the last day there was nothing. It was just like a normal day, like nothing ever happened. But for the first day, my friend Maximus, he was sleeping with his 2 sisters on the bed, and like at 3 a.m. like he woke up to like a very cold feeling in the room, like something was watching them. And so Maximus, he looked around. He didn't really saw anything, and so he went back to sleep thinking, oh, the AC must have turned off. Well, an hour goes by, and Maximus feels like the room is now much colder. Like he slept for at least an hour, and now he feels like he's about to wake up. For some reason, he has like the gut feeling not to open his eyes because he feels like someone's watching him. And so for at least 12 minutes, he kept his eyes closed and thinking like, I don't think I should open them. I feel scared. But he had the courage to open his eyes. But guess what? There's nothing there. Or so he thought, because the next thing is that he got up from his bed and he looked towards the window. And the next thing is that it jump scared him, and he went back because he saw like a ghostly figure staring at him through the window, like with a big smile. Like, you know, the freaking ghost smile, whatever. I don't know what that meme is called, but it's like that throughout the window. And at first he thought it was a real person, but it was actually something else because he didn't feel like it was human of some sorts. He generally felt like what it looked like wasn't human at all, which I would probably understand concerning skinwalkers literally have the manifestations of basically a being. So you could probably tell us how a skinwalker could look like, but it's literally just staring at him and not moving elsewhere. And understandably so, that caused Maximus to scream as so loud that he woke up his sisters, and they saw the thing too, and they ran into their dad's room, and dad came out with a shotgun, and to surprise, nothing was there. And so of course the dad was like, you guys have to be playing tricks on me. But I guess he can tell by what his brother and daughter, their faces were, is that like, okay, maybe they're not joking, that this is all real. So for the rest of the night, they slept in their dad's room. Nothing else happened until the next night, which is the last night. So it's now the next night, which is the sixth night of the day, and where tomorrow will then be their last day at their dad's, which then they will go back to the house. But it's now nighttime, and Maximus and his sisters are for some reason back in the original room. Like, I'm sorry, if I literally saw something like that in my room, then I wouldn't stay there for at least like for a long time. I would probably check my sanity to make sure that like I'm actually okay. I think I would want to sleep in a different room than have to have nightmares about that. Anyhow, though, they go to sleep for at least like 4 hours, and it's now 2 a.m., where instead of this time, Maximus looked up, looked at the window, and it was the same time, but, well, no, it was 2 a.m., and there was nothing there. It was like, oh. He was very relieved until they heard a loud banging at the door. And so he's like, oh boy, it better not be this time what I think it is. And so Maximus, for some reason, decides to get up and go towards the door. And so when he looked through, it was like this man, like looking very intensely, but for some reason there's like a lot of like, you know how the shadow of what it looks like when you can't see someone's eyes? It literally looked like that. But to make things even creepier, it looked like the person was talking, but like you couldn't hear it for some reason. Like they were just moving their mouths like they were talking, but like nothing was coming out. But I'm pretty sure in what everyone's mind was like, the skinwalker was probably like, open the door. Open the door. I said open the door and let me in. But of course, my friend Maximus was like, oh no, this guy is back for revenge. He was the guy from the other night. And so he went to his dad and was like, hey, there's someone at the door. I don't think he's okay. But that's when they start hearing banging noises coming from the door very intensely. Then they start hearing screaming, saying, let me open the door. Open the door, god damn it, let me in. And at this time, my friend Maximus was thinking that this guy was just a crazy person. But for some reason, my friend's dad said, oh boy, it's not one of these skinwalkers. And my friend Maximus was like, a skinwalker? And he says, well, yeah, they mostly appear for some reason around this area very often. And Maximus was like, wait, what? They appear often? Doesn't that bother you? And he's like, well, it scared me at first, but I'm just so used to it now. And Maximus's situation, his father told him to have him and his sisters lock themselves in the same bathroom and to wait until he's done. And he's going to go figure out the situation. And so they go into the bathroom, they turn on the lights, like, dear God, of course, because I'm pretty sure if you have saw something that you literally want to hide to make sure like you're very safe, because I'm pretty sure I would literally jump out the window not wanting to see something like that, because I'm pretty sure I would probably switch states if I saw that thing come near to my house. So a minute goes by and another minute, and for at least like 10 minutes they're in the bathroom, like I think they were like praying to make sure their dad was okay. But their dad comes back and is like, God, that guy's gone now. I think we should be okay. And Maximus was like, are you sure? And he's like, yeah, it should be. And so it was true. Nothing bad ever happened in that. And surprisingly, nothing ever happened like that, because it's obviously that he has a whole armory in there. But after that, Maximus goes back to his original home and everything is all straight. But that's basically the whole entire story of where my friend meets a skinwalker, and then he prays to his life to make sure that he doesn't get killed by a skinwalker. And how we already know it was a skinwalker, because I literally already said it, that skinwalkers tend to be around in the area. Anyhow, I hope you guys enjoy this story. This one was a little bit more longer than usual, because obviously this is a story that I literally for some reason had to record the audio too many times because I couldn't say the story right. Anyway, so like I said in the beginning of this video, this story was from a dream that I had last night about a zombie apocalypse. And the zombie apocalypse story is not from COD or any other video game. It's just a custom story, alright? That just came from my mind. My brain decided to generate this random storyline in my dream, and I thought, hey, maybe this is interesting to tell. So basically, this story of the zombie apocalypse, usually zombie apocalypse won't have any cure, but in this storyline, there was a cure. It's just that apparently in this dream I was 17, and I was instructed with my team that we had to go get one more ingredient to make the cure, which was citric acid. And we were told we need to go to this area called the Acid Lake. And this Acid Lake had four ponds of acid that contained citric acid, just plain acid, live acid, or I can't remember the four acids, but two of them I think are real and some of them are fake. But we had to get this acid called citric acid that literally looked like real acid. And I'm talking about like the green acid. And so me and my team, that we were instructed by our manager, and yes, in the stream there was a boss under a boss, there was a manager under a manager's employee. It's just like fast food places, like companies, how they do it. But like our manager told us that we were instructed to go to this acid place, so we got our gear and we head on to the good old army jeep. This was an army jeep, but not, it's just an ordinary army jeep. Jeep. I can't say anything. What is happening? It's an army jeep but it's larger, so it's like you're riding in a van, but it's like jeep-like. So I'm saying in this jeep, just wondering if, hey, maybe is there gonna be like anything bad happening? Like maybe there's gonna be like a bunch of like zombies coming over here. I mean, yes, this van is well protected, but like, what if one of those zombie balls from the Last Kids on Earth book just like come out of nowhere and start charging over the car? But I mean, this car was fast, so it was gonna be no big deal. So to paint a picture of the city that we were in, it was like we were living in an expensive city. Like there was like a bunch of tall buildings, except that there was a lot of train tracks, because apparently this was also home to like a train city. So there's like a bunch of trains would be going on, but because it's a zombie apocalypse, there would be abandoned trains. However, there are some trains that are still functional, in which that's important part to remember the story, because it's about to happen like at the very end, or no, yeah, in the very end of the story. But anyways, we get to the pot acid lake, right? And we get the citric acid, but I think that was called, but I might have mixed up the words. Anyways, we get the citric acid. However, some of us has to keep watch, and some of us had to start like killing zombies with our weapons that we carried to protect us. Because why would we come here to get ingredients for a zombie cure when we're trying to get rid of the zombies? But also, why would we come here unprotected when we're in a zombie filled area? We're not just gonna get ingredients while zombies just start eating away at our skin or whatever. But it takes us about like 3 minutes to get the acid that we need, and we start heading back. However, the thing is that we were about to start heading back. However, we ran into a ditch, and because of that, we had to leave the jeep behind. So we had to go on foot. We had to hike some mountains to get to back to the base. And while we're going back to the base, it becomes nighttime, which was a threat, because something about hiking in the middle of the night with in a zombie apocalypse is not a very good feeling to have. So we all decide that, hey, we're gonna go sleep in this abandoned building that we see about 2 miles, because we don't want any tank zombies from Left 4 Dead 2 come charging at us out of nowhere. And so we sleep in there. Then we keep on going the next day. And the next day we hiked for like another like 14 miles. And now in the area we are is the train center. However, this train center was an open field with a few buildings that are broken. They're like destroyed, almost about to fall over. But there was a bunch of train tracks on the ground, and for some reason there were some still optional. There were still functional trains going around. However, when we all looked to our left and right, we didn't see any trains coming by, and we thought that, hey, maybe this would be a safe place to cross and maybe take a shortcut. However, that's when we hear a train horn, and we realized, oh shoot, a train's coming. So we were preparing, and we made out of the way, and that's when we see the train speeding up our way, and that's when we realize, oh shoot, we didn't make it out of the way. We're standing on the train track of which the train is on. So now we're just sitting here like, what we're gonna do? like how's there a way to avoid this train running over us? And so from not thinking any other way, we just all dove while this train is running through the train tracks like cheetah style. And you know how that one episode in Thomas the Tank Engine, not the old version, I'm talking about the new version when I forgot when it is names the red train gets derailed because he flips over a sharp curve. That's what it looks like right now for those who are wanting to a full detail of what it looked like during my dream. And so we were kind of alerted of the situation because we feel like that, hey, normally trains wouldn't be derailed like this, so there's probably some good activity going on. And we were right because as soon as that happened, like the roof explodes and we just see a bunch of zombies coming out chasing us. So we grabbed our machine guns and we started firing, tried clearing as much as possible, but somehow the zombies were able to take advantage of us. So we started running, and we were running. This was in this at this moment. This was the fastest we ran in our lives. And fast forward 10 minutes later, no, 20 minutes later, we're still trying to find the base. And one of us shouts, "Over there! I can see the base. It's over there." And we all look at our direction carefully of which we were going, which was front of us, and we see the base faintly because we can see the light ahead. So we're all thankful that we were able to survive this mission. But now we have also another problem, which is we need to destroy as much zombies as we can because we can't just have our boss seeing us bring out a bunch of like an army of zombies about to destroy a base. So we tried defeating them while also running. However, it's not really working well. I mean, it is, but the thing is that we all soon discovered when we turn around there was also tank zombies, in which we were like, God dang, we knew it. Tank zombies would come out of the woods of nowhere. Because, I mean, we were running in the middle of the woods now if we think about it. But we managed to get inside the base. Everything was good. The manager had to put out the turret cannons and fire impact. And, well, everyone was safe and sound. All the zombies were destroyed. And, well, I wake up from that dream thinking, I can't believe I was role playing as a team member trying to make a cure for zombies. But I wonder how that dream would go without me.
So this first story revolves around me being woken up at 11:30, and I'm not sure till this day why and how I was woken up at this time very easily, but this takes place at 11:30. And I had been woken up from my dad. He just opens the door and he's like, "Hey son, good night." And he just closes the door, which I don't understand how I was woken up that easily. Maybe it was just part of my dream saying, "Hey, it's time to wake up. You need to go do something." But I don't really mind waking up at this time. It's just it never happened before. But I wake up, and since there's a thing called half your brain is on and off, typically you're still dreaming a little bit. And because of this, suddenly I felt like shaking, and this is not regular shaking. I felt violent shaking, and originally I wasn't really bothered by this because at the time there was a mountain by where I live that was on fire. So there's gonna be planes that would help put out the fires. I'm talking about planes that would drop sand or something like red mist or something onto the fire to make it spread less or something. I don't know how that works, but planes would go over my house and there would be like this rumbling feeling. But instead, it's a little bit more violent and it lasts a little bit longer. So I was getting a little bit nervous. And for some reason, I thought that the world was ending because, of course, I'm still sleeping. And so immediately since this happened, I was like, what is going on? And started freaking out. And my heart started beating very fast to the point where it's like I'm going on a marathon, probably more faster. But I opened my door and I'm breathing very heavily and very fastly. And my mom was like, "Hey, what's wrong?" I'm like, "Do you not feel the ground shaking?" And my mom's like, "What are you talking about?" And I take a moment to realize my senses, and I kind of realize that, hey, the shaking stopped out of nowhere. Like I felt this very violent shaking for like a hot minute, and I felt like that, oh, a giant earthquake was gonna split the earth in half. half. But yeah, though, that's one time where I scared myself. Another time I scared myself, if I could say scared myself. My apologies for my grammar, but this last story takes place again at my house in the middle of the night, except 11. It's around 1 p.m. and I needed to use the restroom. So at the time, I needed to go use the restroom. So I opened my door and I felt freaked out. The reason why I felt freaked out is because there was an eerie sound playing. And it literally felt like someone, for some reason, put it on a horror soundtrack. And literally, I feel like I'm in a horror game now. So I hear the sound, and immediately I just turn on the light, thinking that, oh my God, Slender Man is in the hallway, and I'm immediately gonna get jump scared. But guess what? There's nothing there. So I go to see what the noise was coming from, and I noticed that it was coming from the air system. I'm not pretty sure it's called that, but so at the time, the reason why it's making that noise because our air filter, not air filter, but it's our air conditioning thing. So at the time it was kind of broken a little bit, so they had to take parts out, and so it constantly kept making this noise, but it sounds a little bit more creepier than I was trying to make the noise. I should have recorded the audio sounds. I can show you guys what it felt like to be in the moment, but I was in that moment and it felt very, very creepy. And I went to use the restroom because I had to use the restroom. It's 1 a.m. and I go to use the restroom, and as I'm about to open the door again, I hear this creepy noise. It's the same noise, and I got jump scared again because it's not your average day hearing a horror soundtrack being suddenly played in the background. So I turn the light on instantly again, and it's just the air conditioning machine half open. So I just went back to my room, went to bed instead of not listening to music, which most of the time I don't really listen to music, but I just felt like I was being watched by Slender Man out in the corner, so I just had to listen to the Halo 1 soundtrack to keep me comfortable, and I did, and I eventually went to sleep. Yeah.
So one of these paranormal experiences I ever had, and by the way, this is not the very first one I ever had like this. I never seen paranormal before, and this is the first time I'm experiencing it. No, this is just the one time this is just one of the times I ever had a paranormal experience. But it was at where I was staying for my vacation, my summer vacation at Washington. No, not DC. I'm talking about the one above Oregon. And we were staying by this giant lake that would have a train there. It would basically have like this train track like next to the lake. Anywho, though, I was just laying on my couch, watching some Pokemon Journeys, Ash Ketchum and Bee fighting in the Pokemon tournament or whatever what that thing is called. And after watching that, I decided, hey, how about you take yourself to bed because you kind of feel tired. So I kind of feel tired, and I turn off the TV and I start shutting my eyes. It seems like after a pretty long excellent day that had a lot of good adventures, you would expect me to have really good dreams. But no, no, no. Instead of me falling right about to sleep after like a very long day, my brain, well, not my brain, but like for some reason something decided to make a noise. And that's because and the corner of my eye, when like I still had one of my eyes open, I was about to close them. I can see in the corner of my eye the cabinet door open and like shut itself like fast. That's what it sounded like, but really loud. And when I see that, I'm just in my mind like, hey, this is I don't think this is real, right? Like this can't be real. I'm just imagining things. Like there was absolutely no one that just literally just opened that cabinet and just open it and close it that fast. Sorry, it has to be someone that be there, but unfortunately no one was there to close or like open the cabinet. So I'm like, okay, I'm thinking my brain is just like it's messing with me. It's got to be messing with me. So a few hours later, I'm just sleeping in my bed, having a good dream. I don't remember what dream it was, but it's not at least like one of those scary dreams. And 2 hours later, I feel like I need to use the restroom. So I get out of bed. Well, I'm actually laying on the couch because I'm in the living room. And I get off the couch and I go to use the restroom. And while I'm using the restroom, I can basically hear like sounds of like people taking out dishes or whatever. It sounds like someone's like doing It sounds like someone's doing like the dishes, except that it's like multiple people doing it at a time. So like it's like multiple dishes like being thrown everywhere. So I'm hearing this, I'm like, what is going on? It's like did it like an animal somehow break in here? Like, what is happening out there? So after I'm done using the restroom, I come out of the bathroom, and what I see is a little bit creepy to me because I just see all the doors in the kitchen, like the cabinets, the drawers. Well, yeah, the fridge, like basically every single door that that functions like a door, it's just wide open. However, I'm probably sure that some of you guys are like, whoa, whoa, how about couldn't like someone did it? It's like no one is that fast to react to do that much amount of noise. So I'm just here really freaked out, not knowing what to do. So I just decided that, hey, I'm just gonna close all the closets and go back to sleep and pretend like nothing ever happened. Well, fortunately though, nothing ever happened after that. It was like the ghost just wanted to prank me a little, I guess, and then he went on with his day. So this next paranormal activity occurred at a place I stayed in Utah, which is very, very far away. That would take me about like a lot of days to get there, even though it's on an airplane. And this next paranormal experience starts like any other paranormal experience. At night, me sleeping, just about to get some sleep. And now I am just laying on the bed. I'm just reading a comic book about, well, I some usually back then when I was going to this place, it would remind me of making comic books. And I was just reading my old comic books that would take at least a few minutes for me to finish reading. And after that, I decided, hey, I'm just gonna go to sleep. So I fall asleep and as I'm falling asleep, I hear like a scream. Not like a scream, but like I hear like a screech. It sounds like a roar, like a cheetah, except it sounds like very demonic, but it's like high pitched. And obviously, I open my eyes because it's not like every day you just hear a terrifying sound that sounds like in your dreams, just like appearing once in a while. Because not every day you just hear terrifying noises. You only hear those like during the dark time, like when you're in a forest camping. Like you're just sleeping in the forest, and then all of a sudden you hear a very intense like scary growl. And then all of a sudden you look through the tent and you see a deer just standing on two legs, and you realize, oh my god, I'm being hunted down by a Wendigo. No, it was not that. It was not the situation. But I can already tell this is another ghost experience. But it's like no living being can make that sound unless it's like maybe another animal. But so I can obviously tell this is a ghost because I mean, like I said. But I'm just sitting on my bed wondering like, okay, I've dealt with this before, but my mind's just playing tricks on me. Like I don't know why, but for some reason this time I just felt scared. I didn't know what to do, and like 10 minutes later I'm just sitting in my bed, just waiting for the worst to worsen happen, and all in the lights that light up my room just turn on automatically. And all of a sudden, like, as soon as the lights flicker on, I'm like, oh my god, what the hell? I'm dipping out of here. I'm not gonna stay in this room because you don't know. This could be like The Conjuring or something, or maybe one of that one Minecraft horror game. Like I think it was called Lights Out, where you're in the abandoned hospital. Also, like a light just flickers on. It's like, yeah, I'm not gonna stand around to find out. So I go into the living room and I discover. Maybe I would prefer being in my room haunted by a spirit because I don't want to sit in the room in the dark. Because, yes, at the time when I was 12, I was afraid in the dark. And yes, I went back to my room to deal with this haunted spirit. But thankfully, nothing too creepy happened after that. It's just that I just kind of freaked out because now I'm just sitting in my room with the light on, and I don't really want to turn the light back off because I don't want to have a ghost spirit just watching me over the next thing when I open my eyes. But yeah, that's second story. I'm gonna now be telling you guys this third story to wrap up the icing on the cake. So instead of this paranormal experience I had being at a vacation or being at my house, this was actually at my friend's house. And believe it or not, I just don't really have enough time to do a sleepover. So this sleepover was probably one of my best moments of my childhood life. It was like, oh my god, this is literally like the equivalent of going to Disneyland. But anyways, the purpose of the story, we're just gonna call my friend named Tree. That's not his real name. I'm just gonna call him that because I don't know. It sounds like a really cool name, whatever. But anyways, I'm at my friend Tree's house and we're just trying to go to sleep. My friend Tree is sleeping in his bed and I'm here on the floor going to sleep in a bed I made with blankets and pillows and stuff. And the thing is to know about this paranormal experience is that we're right in front of a closet. So just imagine you're sleeping, but then when you open your eyes and look straight ahead, you just see like this menacing closet. And that is something you're going to need to remember for this part of the story. So for the next 2 hours, we're sleeping peacefully, nothing bad's happening. And then all of a sudden, we hear like a creak, like the sound of the closet opening. So we both wake up and we see the closet just move a little. And me being me is like, huh, who messed with the closet? And my friend Tree is like, oh, it must be the wind or something. So Tree gets out of bed and he just moves the closet back. And we all thought that, hey, maybe this is just a coincidence. Like, who cares? However, the next minute, we hear this sound again, and it's a closet that opened, except this time the closet opened much more wider. So now it looks like, well, it looks like there's a hallway. If you look through the closet, you could just tell because like it's so dark that if you flip on the switch and light appears, it looks like you're looking down through a hallway. That's what it feels like for us. So we're just kind of a little bit freaked out because we're just seeing this closet. And I told my friend, hey, are you sure there's no like any ghost Pokemon or maybe any like have you ever experienced paranormal before? And my tree goes, I had some paranormal experiences at my house. Okay, so you're telling me you did have paranormal experiences at my house? At your house, fantastic, absolutely fantastic. Um, Maybe this would be a 10 out of 10 if this is like a horror film you can film or whatever. But anyways, besides that, so instead of Tree, my friend, getting up to close the closet, I just was a little bit frustrated because, well, I've dealt with so much paranormal at this point. I'm like, hey, I'm just gonna do this myself because I'm not afraid. All right. So I get up, I close the closet, and I went back to sleep. 10 more minutes later, and we hear like the sound of the closet again. However, instead of it like being like the creak, it feels like someone just opened it and just closed it like very loud. And that's when we hear like we open our eyes, right? And me and Tree just see this absolute like just the most creepiest thing that we have ever seen. So what we see next is the closet just slowly opening, and you're probably thinking, like, oh, that's not even creepy, dude. Picture that right now. You're sleeping right now in the dark, and all of a sudden you just see this closet slowly opening. So now we're freaked out. We're totally convinced that like a evil spirit is haunting us right now. And yes, at some point the closet stops moving and we're just sitting here dead silent for at least 10 minutes. And then oh my god, my friend has the audacity to say, okay, so one of us is gonna have to close the closet again. And I tell him, are you serious right now? We have to close the closet? And he says, well, yeah, we're not gonna let this spirit just conquer us. I'm like, I guess so, but I'm not gonna be doing it because I already done it, and I don't want to go there. I don't want to go start trying to close the closet, but all of a sudden, like the guy from Scream, just all of a sudden takes two of my hands and drags me to the end of the shadow realm because I don't want to be in the shadow realm like I'm dueling like in Yu-Gi-Oh against Pegasus. All right, I don't want that to happen to me. All right, I just want to have a normal life and I want to have a fantastic sleepover that I only have once in my life. So, but yeah. However, because me and him were friends, he was able to build me up enough courage to just close the closet. And guess what? Nothing ever happened after that. I mean, yeah, I did have some paranormal experiences after that, like later in the years. But hey, at least I didn't have any more paranormal experiences at the time. Anyway.
Oh, hey there. Looks like you made it to the end of the video. I just want to say thank you for watching this whole entire video, almost up to an hour. I couldn't get to an hour, but at least I got to like 15 minutes. But Hope you guys enjoyed this video. I was kind of a little bit of a rush. Oh my goodness, I just got an exotic engram on drop. How fantastic that is. It must be very rare. Anyhow, though, I just want to say this video took a little bit for me to gather up all of the videos. I tried finding some horror stories. Maybe there were some good ones I couldn't find, but I was a little bit in a rush because I have many other things to do, and plus I have to get ready for tomorrow to go to and do Halloween events and other stuff. But hope you guys have a good Halloween as well. If you guys like horror stories or just story times in general, then press the like button, or else Halloween will not be a holiday and will be extinguished forever. I'm just kidding. That won't happen. But I'm just saying. And yeah, though, I'll see you guys in the next video. I'll see you guys later. Peace.